Slice of Crimes is a fictionalized true crime podcast that delves into complex and sometimes difficult stories. Topics may include discussions and descriptions of violence, abuse, self-harm, sexual assault, suicide, and other sensitive subjects, as well as occasional strong language. Please listen with care and discretion. This podcast may not be suitable for all audiences, especially young listeners.
Nothing is ever exactly as it seems. Slice of Crimes. Infinite thanks.
Hello, sleuths. I'm KC. I am writer and creator of Slice of Crimes, a podcast for those of us intrigued by true crime. I'm also the narrator and host. I like to call myself the resident sleuth, since I'll be guiding everyone along the way as the case unfolds. I'm grateful you are here and excited to share this. My very first podcast, and actually, my very first episode of Slice of Crimes with you. I sure hope you find yourself enthralled and curious enough to come back for more. Okay, without further ado, this story is called No Escape. It will unfold in 7 episodes plus an epilogue. This is episode 1, The Escape Room Murder. Welcome to Slice of Crimes. I'm Casey, your resident Slice sleuth, and today I'll dive into a chilling tale of mystery and murder that unfolds in the most unexpected place, an escape room. 5 teenagers enter the game with a thirst for competition, but only 4 walk out unscathed. It was a frigid Saturday afternoon, January 14th, 2017, in Riverton, Colorado. The cold seemed to wrap around the small town like a shroud, chilling the bones of its residents as they bustled through their weekend errands. Riverton, with its modest population of just under 4,000, carried the weight of familiarity, where everyone knew everyone, and secrets were hard to keep, though many tried. Scandals often festered in the shadows, exposed when someone unexpectedly decided to shine a light in that direction. In the heart of town stood the Riverton Mall, a 2-story structure that served as the center of weekend activity. On any given Saturday, the corridors echoed with laughter, chatter, and the click-clack of shoes against the worn tile floors. Nestled in an inconspicuous corner on the 2nd floor was a small but popular attraction, Escape Haven. Despite its unassuming appearance, this escape room venue had gained a reputation for elaborate themes and intricate puzzles that promised to test even the sharpest minds. For the 5 friends gathering there that day, it was the perfect stage for their competitive spirits. Some came to play, others to blow off steam, all came to win. The unequivocal leader of the group was Jenner Smith, Riverton High's star lacrosse player, with a cocky grin and a swagger that dared anyone to challenge him. His identical twin brother Jenkins trailed behind, always in Jenner's shadow, but seemingly content to stay there for the most part. Maya Canton, Jenner's girlfriend, stood by his side almost dutifully, her smile bright, but her eyes revealing the worry of unspoken conflict. Behind them walked Blake Dunstan, Jenner's best friend and fellow lacrosse player, a star in his own right, whose easygoing demeanor masked the unease that had been gnawing at him for a good long while now. And then there was Myers Smith, their enigmatic companion who had joined the Smith family quite recently, under tragic circumstances. His demeanor was odd, quirky, yet somehow charming, confusing the others who found him unsettling. The group often hung out, whether at school or after hours, and especially on weekends as they began counting down the days till graduation, when time together would become rare. Except for Maya, who was still a junior. They were seniors, anxiously awaiting their chance to escape the small town that had cradled them for so long. There were some indications their tight-knit bond was fraying around the edges. Some of them had complicated choices to make soon. For all of them, goodbye meant leaving behind the security of knowing your friends always had your back. It seems that may have been a false sense of security anyway. That day, like many before it, seemed ordinary enough. They entered Escape Haven together, all of them in a seemingly carefree, light-hearted mood. They were there to have fun, to burn some time on a frosty weekend afternoon, and to challenge each other in friendly competition. But not everyone in the group had the same agenda, because beneath that playful surface lurked secrets. Secrets they thought were buried deep enough to remain untouched. But in Riverton, like so many small towns, secrets had a way of surfacing at the most inconvenient times. Escape Haven's reputation for creating immersive experiences didn't disappoint. The room they chose, the Enchanted Castle, boasted 7 interconnected chambers, each more complex than the last. Velvet tapestries lined the walls, and ornate chandeliers cast flickering shadows on floors elaborately painted to look like ancient stone. It was all quite medieval feeling in a Disney sort of way. Maya made it clear to the rest of them that the poorly lit rooms and dark shadows creeped her out. Jenner wasn't about to take her on as a partner. He wanted to win, not babysit his girlfriend. Myers handed her a flashlight. Where he got it, or why he had a flashlight, was, like many things about him, a mystery. As the 5 of them waited in the holding area, which, in keeping with the theme, was designed as a drawbridge just outside the castle doors, it was easy to forget that just outside these walls, the mall hummed with normalcy. Inside, it was a world of puzzles and riddles where the goal was simple: solve the clues, unlock the doors, and emerge as the victor. But this group wasn't here to play nice. The competition between them ran deeper than most realized, and they refused to form teams. Instead, they opted to face the challenge alone, each entering the first room one by one. Behind every playful remark was a sharp edge of tension, an unspoken contest to see who would rise to the top. All 5 would begin the game, but by the time they'd unlocked their final door, only 4 would walk out alive. Time seemed to stretch and slow in the dimly lit corridors of the escape room. More than an hour had crawled by before the first of the friends finally emerged from the castle's back doorway, claiming victory over the elaborate puzzles, each of them relishing in their own accomplishment. But amidst their boasting, one face was missing: Jenner's. At first, they thought it was some sort of prank, expecting Jenner to sneak up behind them because he'd finished so quickly. Then, they convinced themselves it was a rare moment where the golden boy, the one who always excelled, might have finally met his match. Nobody expected Jenner to lose, yet as the minutes bled into more and more minutes, concern began to seep into their bravado. Then, outright disbelief. Jenner wasn't coming out. Exchanging nervous glances, the group approached the front desk together. Nobody wanted to lose sight of anyone since Jenner disappeared. Maya reiterated her feeling the castle was creepy. The guys all decided Jenner must have gotten hurt because it was dark. Jenkins shared his opinion that it was kind of ironic after teasing Maya, or maybe it was karma. Eddie Young, the 16-year-old employee who had checked them in, appeared from behind the counter. He didn't bother to hide his disinterest or lack of concern as he continued scrolling on his iPhone while walking the group to the front of the castle. He dissolved into uncertainty as he led the friends back into the labyrinth of rooms, and they still didn't find Jenner. He didn't answer when they called out to him either. Without the surround sound music and voice track playing in each room, the silence was jarring to their already frazzled nerves. The only sound that broke through the stillness was their voices, each desperately calling out their friend's name.
Jenner! Jenner!
Jenner! Jenner!
Jenna! Jenna! Jenner! Jenner!
The only answer were the echoes of their own voices bouncing off the chamber walls, and it dawned on them all at once. Something was very wrong. Silence followed them as they retraced their steps, and for some reason they all remained dead silent when they entered the third room. They may have been holding their breath. Jenner Smith lay motionless on the floor, his athletic frame reduced to a grotesque tableau of violence. The once invincible star of Riverton High was lifeless, forever altered by the sharp edge of someone's hatred. Plunged into his chest, an antique knife gleamed dully under the dim light, its ornate handle an unsettling contrast to the brutality of the act. But it was his face that froze them in horror. His once handsome features had been grotesquely mutilated, carved into a macabre Glasgow smile. The corners of his mouth had been sliced clean through to his ears, turning his final expression into a permanent, twisted grin of death. Panic erupted like a dam breaking, and nobody acted rationally. All of them lost control of their senses and apparently of their bodies as well. They were scared for themselves, scared for each other, and scared of each other. They jostled one another. Someone pushed, another tripped, confusion and terror breeding chaos. Accusations flew like daggers. By the time the detectives arrived, the scene was a chaotic mess of bloody footprints, tear-streaked faces, and stories that overlapped and wildly contradicted each other. Jenner's death had transformed the friends into suspects, and the air was electric with fear and suspicion. Detective Sarah McAllister arrived first, her sharp eyes taking in the mess with a practiced calm. Behind her, Detective Mike Ramirez followed, his brow furrowed in a mix of frustration and determination. They quickly cordoned off the escape room, pulling the teens apart like pieces of a puzzle they had yet to solve. Each one placed in a separate room, their choking sobs muffled behind closed doors as the detectives began their work. The knife, which they initially believed to be part of the escape room's decor, quickly revealed itself to be far more sinister. Its handle was etched with unique markings, ornate, antique designs that would soon prove crucial in identifying its origin. Even more disturbing was the duct tape. A loose, bloodied strip clung to Jenner's chin, evidence that his mouth had been sealed before the mutilation. His nostrils, too, had been taped shut, suffocating him in silence before the final act of violence. His wrists and ankles bore the harsh red marks of zip ties, further bound with layers of more duct tape that told a story of methodical cruelty, but also explained how he was incapacitated and silenced immediately. They secured the scene before it became further desecrated. McAllister knelt beside the body, her gloved fingers tracing the intricate markings on the antique knife. She couldn't quite put her finger on the intricate rose embossed in the handle of the silver knife. Sterling, perhaps, or pewter, not stainless, she thought. She snapped photos of the whole knife and a close-up of the rose emblem with her iPhone. As soon as she had time, she would run it through that new technology she had recently discovered, Google Lens. She would be able to trace the origin of that knife soon enough. Detective Ramirez examined the scene, trying to track down where the tape came from. He was certain someone had the rest of the roll stashed away. His eyes continued sweeping the room for any clue that could unveil the killer. Ramirez was an observer of people, expressions, and body language. He studied the eyes and listened intently, a man of few words until he formed his gut feeling. He'd already noted some disturbing details. The brief statements that followed were a tangled web of half-truths, confusion, and suspicion. Each teen swore they hadn't seen Jenner since entering the escape room. They also all swore they hadn't seen each other until they finished and escaped. Their stories twisted when it came to the order in which they exited, leaving that critical detail unanswered for the time being. The only thing they all agreed on, no one was bloody when they first stepped back into the escape room's exit area. McAllister noted that they all had selective memories and convenient gaps in their accounts. Ramirez, his senses on high alert, noted they were all displaying a mixture of anxiety, fear, deception, and of course shock. McAllister took down their brief statements in her notebook. All the conversations were to be continued down at the station. Her expertise in interrogation would be put to the test. She had a few tricks up her sleeve already, and she had already determined the order she wanted to have them come in. First, Maya. McAllister would drive her straight to the station. She wasn't sure she'd hold up much longer. She'd have Blake come in right after Maya. He too appeared on the verge of breakdown. She'd likely have to extend the interviews over a couple days. But Myers would be up next. She'd need to be on the top of her game with Myers. It was already clear he didn't appreciate being questioned, to say the least. And then she'd need some time to gather all her information thus far. She expected the stories to conflict and hoped to fill in the gaps and tie up the loose ends with Jenkins and his dad. Separately, of course, her instincts told her to talk to Jenkins last, give him time to mentally run through the day several times. She was counting on him to come through with some strong insight and provide the nuances she would need to reveal the truth. Her interview with Eddie Young, the employee who had checked the teens in at the front desk and had unknowingly led them to the scene of the murder, would take place on site before she left with Maya. She didn't think she'd need too long with him. Meanwhile, Ramirez would be analyzing all the surveillance video available and take it back to the station. She knew he'd work through the night. She also knew she couldn't do that herself. She had to be fresh and on point for every single interview over the next couple days. Coffee alone wouldn't cut it. McAllister and Ramirez gathered the kids and instructed them to head directly home and to avoid talking about the case, especially to each other. The detectives weren't naive. They understood teenagers usually weren't big rule followers, and these particular teens had proven they definitely were not. As they left, McAllister instructed each teen to check out with Ramirez. He would confirm their addresses, home phone numbers, and collect their mobile phones for processing. Naturally, the teens protested, but Ramirez quickly shut them down, explaining that the phones were evidence. He warned them that non-compliance would only give him grounds to suspect them further, and he could easily get a court order to confiscate the phones anyway. The thought of spending a night in jail wasn't appealing, and the idea of starting off on the wrong foot with the detective was even worse. No one wanted to risk having the murder pinned on them just because Ramirez didn't believe their story. Ramirez then asked each of them to describe Jenner's demeanor before entering the escape room. He was trying to assess Jenner's state of mind, whether he was blissfully unaware or frightened for his life, to help determine the next steps in the investigation. Maya Canton, her face pale and her hands trembling, described Jenner as confident and excited before they entered the room. Yet her words were hollow, as though the weight of what she had seen had drained her of everything but shock. Ramirez found her statement to be a throwaway, devoid of detail, and not revealing much of anything. Ramirez also categorized her statement as a lie. Blake Dunstan, wide-eyed and visibly shaking, expressed his opinion that Jenner was quiet before entering the room. And he is not a quiet guy. He made sure to mention Jenner was his best friend. He loved him, and he would never hurt him. Blake was near panic and quick to deny. Fear, Ramirez concluded. Jenkins Smith, the surviving twin, sat stone-faced, his grief tightly controlled, more focused on protecting Maya than mourning the brother who had been his other half. Refused to talk to Ramirez, instead turning to Maya to ask if she were still cold, and offering to buy her an escape room sweatshirt to cover up. Ramirez was intrigued by his behavior. Was he diverting attention from himself or protecting Maya, or both? It was obvious he wanted to think things through before he spoke to the police. Ramirez labeled him deceptive. And then there was Meyer Smith, calm, collected. his expression unnervingly serene in the midst of chaos. Asking the detective if he had any suspects in mind, Ramirez found this cavalier, since it was obvious any one of them could be the culprit. As an afterthought, he mentions Jenner was his usual cocky self, controlling the game. It was that unsettling composure that made the detective's eyes linger on him a little longer. Ultimately, Ramirez's gut told him this one was trying hard to be mysterious. So far, it was working. The teens' carefully crafted personas were unraveling, each hiding behind layers of lies and secrets that would slowly be exposed. And Detectives McAllister and Ramirez were certain it was only a matter of time before one of them cracked. And that's a wrap on episode 1. Any developing theories yet on what led to Jenner Smith's untimely demise? Join me next time for episode 2, where I'll dig deeper into the lives of the witnesses, or should I say suspects, and you'll hear firsthand what they have to say. Until then, stay sharp and remember, nothing is ever exactly as it seems. Infinite thanks for listening. How do you feel after an episode of Slice of Crimes? One step closer to the truth? If you haven't cracked the case yet, no worries, you're not alone. But before you go, remember, the mystery doesn't end here. Enjoyed this episode? Show some love. Share Slice of Crimes with your friends, family, or even that neighbor who's a little too interested in true crime. Oh wait, that's probably you. Your 5-star ratings and killer reviews help keep these investigations coming, and I couldn't do it without you. Got your own theories, burning questions, or maybe a case you think I should tackle next? I'm all ears. Send your ideas and suggestions my way. The more you engage, the sharper my sleuthing gets. So until next time, fellow sleuths, keep your wits about you. Stay curious. Stay sharp. You never know what the next slice of crime will serve up. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. Infinite thanks for listening today and for tuning in next week.